hey guys, we're having a lovely evening and a lovely discussion on our film Hangout, which is releasing on the 15th of September, only on amaramovie.com. Here we have with us, Pratik Kothari, who's the co-director on the film. You have Simran
Hi
Aunty,
guys.
who is
Hi.
the producer, and there's Amnik Aunty also, who is co-produced the film. And of course, me myself, I'm the filmmaker, the director of the film. And yes, so how do you guys doing, and how do you guys want to take this conversation forward?
So, hi everyone. So I think it's not a bad idea to start with how the concept and the whole idea of Hangout really came to fruition, and that really it really started with over a phone call. The idea of the whole we were brainstorming one night, Ramneek and myself, and late at night. And Ramneek actually works with the CHH. It's a local group in London, and they volunteer to do, to reach out to the needy, and they provide them with food and shelter and all sorts of things. So I think, and I come from a background of theater and journalism. So the next best step was actually a short film. There was this whole COVID message and the kind of frustrations people were feeling, and so it was literally writing stories and essays for these children and helping them. And that's how our conversation took place. And then the next thing we knew, we were on a phone call with Rohan led to you, and then one thing after the other, the whole thing unfolded.
Yeah, in fact, I remember you sent Rohan that email, which I think that was the initial idea which you shared
Yeah.
with Rohan and me. And subsequently, I think I developed a draft of this film called Across Balconies. So what
Yes,
we wanted
yes.
was
Yeah,
something
yeah,
which
yeah.
is, I think, very difficult to execute production-wise. So we decided to scale it down a little bit and do something which is more achievable.
Yeah. If you
So,
remember correctly, we'd come up with 10 different stories and 10 different concepts, and then you
right.
actually uh, kind of took charge, and then you guys wrote your own script, and
Yeah.
within the limited kind of resources and limited time frame and limited everything, I think you guys did a fab job. And then of course, when once you came on board, then Exposition Pictures, then we met Pratik, and I think you guys have done a fantastic job.
Thank you. Thank you. I actually had a subsequent question to this. I just wanted to know out of curiosity, why did you decide to get into the short film space? Because from what I understand of the short film space is that, short films don't really have a market, although that is changing. But as so far, before the OTT wave came in, there has been no market for short films. So why did you decide that you wanted to produce a short film?
So, actually, Kabir, very honestly, first I had been brainstorming with Rohan a lot. He'd written a beautiful play for me. So, my first thing was to actually go back onto stage. But then this whole COVID thing happened. And then there was so much, I mean, there were so many people that were suffering, the unfortunate, the poor. And I just wanted to reach out, and I wanted some form of a message to go through. And right now, this digital world is just going viral. And that's when I actually spoke to Ramneek, and she was very happy to come on board and co-produce it. And you know really, I think this whole thing of the digital platform going viral and you being able to get into every nook and corner of the world, I think that just appealed to me. So I thought the short film would be the next best step, keeping in mind our limited resources.
Right. So Ramnikandi, actually wanted to ask you. So what did you when Simran Aunty came to you with the idea and pitched to the concept? How was your reaction, and what did you really think about it?
So it was very intriguing. I mean, Simran's always had a background in either theatre or acting, and for me, my thing into the creative world has only just ever been reading. I've been an avid reader, but when she came to me, obviously, it came at a time when everybody's life was absolutely frozen. No one was doing anything, and to be able to be a part of something which was new, I found it very interesting. To work with a really close friend of mine, I found that very interesting. I was a bit concerned because I don't live in India. I live in London, and just thinking about how we're going to manage this was my only question. But I think everything was executed so beautifully. And I mean, you directed all of this on a camera, and you weren't even present there. So I guess I just got very excited at doing something new. And obviously, the concept that we chose, again, was very close to my heart. I'd worked with councils. India had a migration issue. We had issues of people starving here. So it was a lovely concept to work with. And also, you said something about short films. Why I get interested in a short film? Almost everything from ads to everything is actually happening like a short film now. We've
Right.
seen so many new short films, and it's been very interesting to watch them. The whole story develop in maybe 10 to 15 to 20 minutes. It's very interesting.
Right. No, so one thing about short films for filmmakers like myself, and I'm assuming Pratik as well, is that short films for us really becomes like a visiting card, right? It becomes like a stepping stone for bagging a feature film, right? Which is eventually what I want to do and what Pratik wants to do, and so does Ida. Right? The three of us, all of us want to eventually, go ahead and make a Bollywood film, right? That's obviously our goal in the next 2 3 years. So the reason we really make short films is, because it becomes like our visiting card. We show it around
It's
as
good
our
for your
showreel.
CV.
It's our bag of work that we've made, and so I'm really glad that you really supported us and helped us out with this journey, because I've obviously made several films before this, for sure, and even Pratik has made quite a few. But I think this one was really special because the way we did it, where I was remotely directing the film, the kind of new technology that we had to explore because of the constraints that we had production wise. I don't think if COVID wasn't there, I don't think we would have been as inventive or as
No.
kind of experimental in our ways and approaches of making this film. I think it was really special, this one.
Yeah, it was definitely a first of its kind. And even for us, the whole thing of the world contracting. I mean, you did auditions on Zoom, you did the shooting on
Yeah.
Zoom. You were connecting. I mean, you had a fabulous team. I mean, Pratik, from your actors to the music, to Emiliano, to Anisa, to Arjun, to Pratik, to Ida, to everyone. I mean, Rohan, you just got together this fantastic team. And if you remember once, we were also talking because Rohan is sitting in Baroda, Ramneek sitting in London, Anisa did her bit and flew to London. So, I mean, we're all interacting in that Zoom party that we had. So the whole concept has been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the world has really become an oyster, and thanks to globalization, thanks to the interconnectedness that we share with people even across the world, thanks to mobile devices and all forms of electronic media. I think that we are able to do cross-country collaborations like never before. Like even before Hangout, I made a film called Dali, and I had my composers rather were all in different parts of the world. Emiliano and his entire team are Yuen Geta Kim, who was the violinist. She was from China. We had a German, I think, flautist. We had so they were all doing, sending in tracks from different parts. We had a recording in LA. So it was quite incredible because I was, sitting in Bombay and I was directing a team that was sitting in LA and, recording the music of my film.
Wow.
So it was fantastic. And the similar happened here as well because, here our editor was in Delhi. You were in Delhi. I'm in Bombay. Ramneek Aunty is in London. Anisa was in Bombay, but then went to London. My sound designer was in Kerala. My cinematographer, the director of photography was in Ahmedabad. And our assistant cinematographer was on location with Pratik, of course. So, it was quite incredible because I'd never worked with such a team and so far spread out. It was really fun, honestly. Yeah.
And really, actually, this whole concept of Zoom and shooting and everything has been quite efficient. I mean, not as efficient as it would be in real life, but it hasn't been bad. It's been a great experience.
That's what makes it a novel project. That's what makes it a novel project, something that's different that hasn't been done.
Yeah.
And just goes to how well you can connect people globally just through the medium of these different apps. So it's been really, really good.
Yeah.
And
so, Pratik, I want to know from you, what is your experience been? How is this film any different from the other films that you've done? You've done a lot of work, of course. You've assisted Shyam Benegal. You've assisted on several other feature films, and managed post production for several feature films. I think with Amitabh Singh as well, like the film on Netflix. I saw your name at the beginning, and also the short films that you've done, which have released in PVR, etc. So, how is this any different from those?
See, it was very different on a lot of counts. First of all, as we said that we were adjusting to a new style of shooting, and we were adapting to shoot with limited crews. We were having our rehearsals online. I've never had an online rehearsal. I've done a few online performances myself, but those are mostly solo. So to coordinate with actors, we did the entire short breakdown on a Zoom call. So these are all the things that one needed to be in at the same place initially. Whenever we would have a prep meetings or recce's. So if you remember, even for the recce, you had showed me some videos of their house initially. That these are the areas where you're planning to shoot and all of that. So it was very different in that sense. But what was really different was actually the shooting bit, because I still remember the first day when we were shooting at Arjun's house. We had around 40 shots to take, and I've done that before with a smaller crew. I've taken 60 shots in a day in a similar room. So I was very confident to pull it off, but I did not know what surprise was going to come my way. The surprise was the mask and the face shield and the gloves and all of that. It became a little bit too much, and something very different to handle, because you never work like that. You're every moment you're very careful and mindful of what you're touching and what you're not touching, and when to use a sanitizer, when to spray. Of course, the production help, Raj and Jatin, they had a tough time sanitizing each and every equipment before we started shooting and after the packup. So the first day was actually really taxing in that sense, because we have been on shoots. We have been on shoots where we have shot for 16 hours, 18 hours, but this lethargy was different, and then there was a little bit of paranoia also. To be very frank, when you come home the next day, you are like, you don't want to infect people around you. So I was completely isolating myself in one room, and the food was being served to me over there, and all of that. but but at the same time, there was relief also, that after such a long time, for me, since the last December, I hadn't been on a shoot. So for me, it was a good opportunity to go and shoot something. So that was, of course, one part of the physical challenge, so to say. And the creative challenge was, I came on board much later. The story was already written, the script was already written, the rehearsals were already on. I guess I joined a week before the shoot was supposed to happen, and thanks to Kabir. It generally, I've been part of shoots and part of films and projects where I've been involved right from the inception. So it was a nice thing to get join a wagon, join an engine which is already in motion, in that sense. And also the fact that I was working in an environment where Kabir was also there, and I had to execute his vision, which was a different ball game altogether. Generally, when you are on set, when you are directing, what happens is, you have to finally say okay or not okay or whatever, one more, whatever. But here you have to take a joint decision, and luckily we both were in sync, and we were able to run through that quite smoothly. And as he said that he was monitoring the shoot from his house, Chehek was monitoring the shoot from Ahmedabad. She was monitoring literally each and every frame that we shot. So it was good, because otherwise we would have been completely blinded in terms of what we were shooting. And it was great to have Kabir and Chehek to support us and have that objective view from outside. Okay, this frame is working, or this frame can be made better. So and I seriously thought that that will consume a lot of time, and we are dependent on technology. The Zoom call can go off any moment, anything can happen. But all those things were pretty much very smooth, and the production people were very efficient. The way Jatin, Raj, everybody worked, and all of us are shifting the lights from one place to another once the shot is changed, when the setup is changed. The actors were cooperative, and also the first day when we were doing that Zoom sequence where everybody was supposed to record from their homes and everybody's time had to match. So yeah, it was a completely different experience altogether, and something you don't get to do more often. And it was overall a learning curve for me, which I really enjoyed. And again, then the post which we did on Zoom, as Kabir already said, it was a completely fun experience for me.
So I remember, because I remember just before you guys started, Rohan had called for, initially they planned to shoot in Delhi. And then Rohan had called, he's like, so are you going to be part of the shoot? I'm like, no, with COVID, there's no way. you do the shoot, have it where you want, whichever city. So when you talk about the paranoia, definitely, I can understand. And when you guys were shooting, it was peak. I mean, we were at the peak of the, the pandemic.
Yeah.
So it was very
More than us, we were concerned about the families because, I live with a 60-year-old mom who is a diabetic, so I have to be very careful the way I interact with her and, what I touch and what I don't touch, and whatever I touch, I spray something immediately on it. So all of that is...
I remember. So hats off to you guys because I was scared.
But do you guys feel this will carry on? Do you feel this will carry on, like this kind of work? Or do you think people are just dying to get back to normal? And if there's a choice, you'll go back to it. But do you think this kind of stuff will carry on where people will use media, like these kind of...
I hope they do. I hope they do.
It's been quite interesting, right?
People don't want to be constrained, right? People don't want to be bridled by certain restrictions. People want to be free at the end of the day. And now things are opening up. So, like Pratik and I also have been resuming shoots. We shot for one ad film about 2 weeks ago. Pratik and I both together. And of course, we've been pitching for some other ads as well. So, things are opening up. So, we're everybody's back to life. Everybody's getting back on ground and on floor, shooting normally as, they were earlier. So I mean, this was just that 1 or 4-5 month period where I'm glad this film happened because it was, had it been after or before, I mean, we wouldn't have had the same experience.
No, it was a new experience altogether. Definitely.
Shooting wise, I think once things get normal, then we are going to start shooting the way we used to. But in terms of the prep, in terms of, a lot of meetings and discussions that happen before you actually go ahead with a project and while you are prepping, a lot of it might happen online where you might not physically need to be present in the same space. That might happen.
For client meetings, people used to fly down from Bombay to Delhi, Delhi to Bombay, Bombay to Bangalore, Bangalore to Bombay.
Yeah.
Now people just have it over like Zoom calls. Like, why the hell do you just fly down for an hour and then come back?
So, but the good thing with this experience is that we know there is an alternative method, that can be used to reach out or whatever.
I mean, it was interesting to watch the auditions on a camera, on a screen like this, where all of us were sitting in the comfort of our own homes. I know there wasn't a choice, but it was interesting to see that we can do this because it's like a larger thing with the global, they were talking about the carbon footprint. I mean, can you just see how much the Earth's actually improved in the time we've all been sitting still? We've seen the changes. So these things, I think, are going to make a huge difference to the younger generation, especially. They're going to see that they're actually just as effective, just as capable of doing stuff by not that much of movement. But this was a really, really interesting thing to watch, what you guys have pulled off.
There is a parallel world that can exist, that can coexist.
Yeah.
In simple street.
Really well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but by the way, just a point to be noted. I in fact just discovered a few days ago that Pratik in fact does not belong to my generation. You said young generation. He does not in fact belong to my generation. Can you guess his age?
Pratik must be our age, no?
No.
That's a good guess.
Are we disclosing our ages now?
I'm just asking you to guess Pratik.
I think Pratik, you must be 35 or so.
Bang on. I'm 44.
He's a good 12 years older than me.
So see, I said initially I said he's our age. So exactly.
He's a good 12 years older than me.
12 years.
I only figured that out on the last shoot. About a week ago, we were shooting, and then I asked him, Pratik, how old are you? He said, I'm 34. I said, I thought you were like my age, dude. I didn't know you're like 12 years of difference between you and me. But anyway, like we get along very well.
As you grow older, you turn and say things like age is only a number. So we're going to carry on with that. Age is only a number.
When you're neither old, when you're like us in your 40s, you're neither too old, neither too young.
Exactly. But Kabir, I told you I'm 34. I'm actually 44.
Oh, is it?
Now you're confusing us.
Yeah. No. I'm actually 44.
So then he's our age.
Guys, thank you so much. I'm so glad I was a part of this, and it's been really interesting. And I really hope I really hope we can work on future projects together. So this was really, really interesting. I have to say thank you to Simran for reeling me in. It was not something I would have done off my own back, and it's been really, really good that she did this. I'm really happy to have been a part of this project.
And I just want to say that this was a simple sentiment that I had, and it turned into this beautiful short film. And I hope all our efforts were able to convey the message, which was that I hope everyone comes forward and plays their part, and reaches out to those that are less fortunate, exactly like our protagonist does. So I'm very happy because you guys portrayed it beautifully.
So interestingly, this film happens to be really personal to me. I mean, Simran Aunty and Ramneek Aunty have anyway conveyed all the sentiments that I wanted to. But apart from that, what I'd like to add is that this film has been really personal to me because Rumi, in fact, and you guys don't know this, but Rumi, in fact, used to be me 3-4 years ago. I was an idealistic artist who was very privileged and did not recognize my privilege, would not fight for justice, would not fight for equality, would not fight for certain values and ideals which I think are I very strongly hold close to me today. I'm quite an activist today, which I wasn't 3-4 years ago. So Rumi Rumi is actually a reflection of who I was 3-4 years ago before a girl came into my life and changed me in a way that now I'm not going to go back to who I was. So yeah, that's what it is.
Justice done to the characters.
Right, absolutely. Things have to be personal.
But great working with you guys, and I hope to do many, many more projects, and I hope this is just only a start.
Absolutely, it's the same.
Likewise.
Right, guys, I look forward to meeting all of you in person, except for Simran. I look forward to meeting you all in person one day when all this madness is over. But until then, we'll all enjoy the release of the movie.
I had that vision. I said I'd see suddenly Prateek, and I'd say, "Hey, you're Prateek." Kabir, you're Kabir.
I look forward to meeting all of you.
And Prateek, good to know you're our age. That's
yeah,
a feather.
I'm glad to know so too. And thanks, Kabir, for disclosing my age. But you did not know my real age.
And thanks for disclosing ours too. If we had, nobody would have guessed. But we forgive you.
Kabir can afford to. So he ensured he brought the numbers game on board.
Right.
No, I will not ask a woman her age, but I will definitely ask Prateek's age.
44, I told you, bro. How many times you want me to tell you?
Okay, I got it. Now I got it.
44.
Okay. So I guess now we're done. Yeah, we're done. I guess now we have about a minute left. So
Right, guys.
Yeah.
Thank
Good to see all of you again.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
And I hope to hang out with all of you soon.
Yes.
Love.
Sure.
See you guys. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.